Jackson, we gotta go back to Stranger Things, back to the future.
Is it going to be just like it was when I was there last time?
It's going to be heavy, Jackson. There's something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull.
Doc, you're in Alex's seat.
Well, I'm glad to be here at Bored and Annoyed so I can discuss this great show and this weird streaming service like a river called Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get into. Are you? I mean,
I'm here all day, Jackson.
Yes. Yes. So I guess Alex has the night off.
No, I'm back.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I was ready to do the whole show with Doc. I probably would have lasted 3 minutes before I wanted to kill myself.
I know. He's excited about everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't need people like that around.
No, it only makes the podcast more entertaining.
I was excited for going into Stranger Things.
I was excited for a lot of things.
Yeah.
One thing I'm really excited about is we're actually finally going to discuss Dark.
We should hold off another week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep the...
I haven't wanted to talk about it or anything. So.
Right.
But yeah, Dark, Stranger Things. Some would compare these two shows to each other.
I would say in vain.
I would 100% agree that is not an apt or fair comparison, personally.
But we're going to do the news, as we always do.
Bringing you the most important and the most entertaining news that you will get all day. It's the movie news with a couple of rabble-rousers, Jackson and Home at the Movies. It's Bored and Annoyed with the news.
This is kind of a big one. Mortal Kombat is going off the ground.
Mortal Kombat is happening.
It's
First
happening.
off.
Yes.
Who's directing it? Do you know?
That I don't know. The Raid's Joe Taslim is cast as Sub-Zero.
You know, my first thought when I heard this, I was shocked that they didn't get like another badass action star to play Scorpion and do it as like a dual.
Right.
It seems like a bigger news hit because those are your two that everybody's going to be excited about, you know?
You know what?
Iko Uwais as fucking Scorpion.
Yeah. Get them both.
Even though I think I would flip the two. I think I would have.
Oh, sure.
You agree? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Iko. God, what would Iko be? Iko would be
Liu
a good.
Kang.
Not Liu Kang. He would be a great. What was the one with the? He had the blade on the top of his head. I think he was
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. Liu Kang's ancestor, I believe.
There you go. Look at you with your. Look at you with your lore, your Mortal Kombat lore drop there.
That's the extent to like how much I know. But yeah, so that's pretty exciting. It means like, I think we're at least guaranteed some decent action there.
That is exciting. It means they're actually getting like real martial artists. Is James Wan directing this or is he producing it?
He's probably producing.
Okay. He's producing. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because the conversation absolutely changes if James Wan is making that movie.
I mean, yeah. James Wan, I'm done with him, I guess.
After Aquaman?
I mean, I'm just so apparently he directed one of the Fast and the Furious movies, number 7.
Seventh. Yeah.
But I shouldn't blame him, but it's he spawned this Conjuring thing.
The Conjuring, Annabelle.
Yeah, so he gets the hate by association. Although he could make Conjuring 3, it might be good. But
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. So the director of the new Joker solo film that's coming out.
Yes.
He is aware that what he is making will piss off fans.
I kind of liked that he said this, though, because he basically said he's not drawing from the comics at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, one thing I have a problem with him saying that, it's like you absolutely are just by the way he looks. Mm-hmm. Like, in a sense, you are.
Right.
Like, you can do whatever different shit. I mean, chances are some of the stuff he's doing has been done before.
Right.
I mean, just looking at the trailer, it reminds me of The Killing Joke a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but I do like the fact that he's just like, fuck it, I'm just going to make something. I mean, who knows if it works out or not?
Yeah.
But yeah, temper your expectations if you're expecting like a standard Joker villain role, I guess.
I mean, I'm of two minds on it, which is one, the Joker not having a clear origin has always been one of my favorite things about him.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, well, it'd be great if we didn't have a concrete origin for him. But now I'm also like, but also what we do know is pretty iconic and pretty great. So I've always been a little on the fence about this, other than it's Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, and it's one of those things too, where it's like, you're right. I agree with that. But just because this Joker exists doesn't mean that other Jokers won't exist throughout time. And this is just something a little different, maybe. I do think you're right, though. Like some of these like boogeymen characters, and I would consider the Joker classified as one of those. They're more interesting the less you know. Like I think of the Rob Zombie Halloween movie, where like, in the original, it was like, oh, he killed his parents and he's a monster. There's no explanation.
Yeah.
Right.
And now
then
it's
in
like,
the other one, it's like, oh, but he was abused. And doesn't work.
It was kind of one of the things that I've always thought about Drive is one of the reasons that Ryan Gosling is so interesting is that there is no backstory there.
Yeah, I would agree. It is an interesting character. You can almost like, he's like a blank slate. You can almost just draw.
I mean, you know where he is currently as a character, but you have no idea what his past is, and that's just inherently more interesting.
What are your thoughts? Isn't the Hangover guy directing this too?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, my fear is...
Do you think this is going to let people down? Is that your prediction?
No, I think that, I mean, I'm going to be real pessimistic and sound like a real fucking snob, but I think that a lot of people are just going to eat this up because it's the Joker and it's Joaquin Phoenix. But I think...
Which you can't blame him to some extent, because you know he's going to be good, right?
Right. But I think that from a structural level, and probably even from a potential level, I don't think it's going to live up.
All right, we'll see. I'm not like going crazy over it.
I'm really pumped for his performance, but that's about it.
I'm hoping, and it's entirely possible that this does not happen, but I'm hoping that this is a setup and he is going to meet Batman at some point.
That would be great.
Because I would love to see a Batman movie with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. I'd like to see that more than a Joker movie.
I agree.
I mean, I think villains are more interesting, you know. The idea of a villain movie, just the villain, to me, isn't any more like... You know,
I like it from a structural standpoint because we're so used to the hero's journey and the traditional hero's journey. But also I think of like the last time we really did one of these big tragic character arcs was Anakin Skywalker. And I think that there's a part of society that just does not like these.
We'll see.
I hope that like one of their influences like Taxi Driver. I think that's one of the biggest, like...
It looks like Taxi Driver.
It does look like Taxi Driver.
Like filthy and...
Right. So I'm hoping that that's what we get. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, Stranger Things broke Netflix's viewership record.
Now, is this another of them telling us that?
Oh, of course.
But we don't have any idea how many people watched it or...
It's the Wonka factory. Nobody's allowed inside.
Interesting. I mean, I believe it.
People walk in, but they never leave.
I believe it, although there is another show on Netflix that
deserves
10 times more viewers at this point.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it is kind of interesting to see that. I think you really have to chalk it up to, it's not necessarily this season, it's what Stranger Things has done up to this point.
Well, and it's 8 episodes, like you binge the first 3, like it's the beginning and you're like, okay, well maybe this is going to go somewhere really good. And then by the time you're at that point, well, fuck, I need to finish it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
it is kind of the perfect length in that, even if you're not enjoying it, you'll finish it. Which, I mean...
I feel like most people are enjoying it.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying it's kind of like... I feel like it was planned. There are like 8 episodes. It's not too long. It's not too short.
Sure. Probably true.
And then, let's see what else. We do have trailer time coming up in a little bit. But... we're going to be swinging along with our favorite webhead for a second here. Spider-Man.
What do we got with Spidey?
Well, he's doing great at the box office. 580 for the first week.
Okay.
It's number 2 all time for domestic 4th of July long weekends.
What was number 1?
I believe it's either the first or the second Transformers.
Okay.
And then number 3 is actually Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's. So
really?
Spider-Man 2 beat Spider-Man 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, basically what we're finding out is that that's a really tough weekend.
That's pretty impressive that that's still there.
Yeah. I mean, considering inflation and all of that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes, absolutely. So it's doing great. It's doing great.
It deserves to do great, I would say.
Yeah. I think we're going to be seeing probably the first $1 billion Spider-Man movie, not adjusted for inflation, because I think 2 and maybe even 1 or maybe even 3.
Well, 3 smoked it too, didn't it?
Yeah.
It fucking sold. It made a ton of money.
It made a ton of money. So yeah, I think all 3 might be $1 billion movies adjusted for inflation.
That's Spidey.
Yeah.
That's Spidey. It's weird though, because it's weird that it's almost like this movie being part of the MCU doesn't feel like a Spider-Man franchise. I don't know how to explain it.
I think it's the fact that he's not down and out like he is in the Sam Raimi ones. I mean, he can be down and out, but not in the same way.
Well, it's weird that these movies are like we're conditioned at this point that like, oh, this is going to fit into this big puzzle.
Right.
It's very strange.
We talked about it actually on Seen It podcast.
Okay.
And we talked about it on last week on our review, where we kind of would like to see a little bit more of Spidey by himself.
Like a little standalone.
A little less Iron Man in my Spider-Man would be good.
You got to set up the next one though.
Yes.
I mean, that's the game they're playing. So,
but the real interesting piece of news here is that Spider-Man, if it does not cross $1 billion, now this is not confirmed, it's a rumor, but if it does not cross $1 billion, basically Sony is going to take Spider-Man back. Marvel will not be in charge of him creatively anymore.
Everyone go see Spider-Man.
I mean,
again and again.
I'll say it right now. If it doesn't make $1 billion and Sony's like, oh, we're taking Tom Holland back and his last one is going to be just him and he's no longer in the Marvel universe. One, I think that's suicide for your franchise. I absolutely think it's a dumb idea, but I'm also just not going to see it to spite Sony.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Spider-Man 3 sucked. The Amazing Spider-Man sucked. Venom sucked.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucked. Yeah. They all sucked. Except for the Spider-Verse one.
Yeah. So Spider-Verse, the fluke, and then Marvel taking over.
I love how it's the fluke.
It's the fluke.
So if a Spider-Verse sequel happens, you think it'll be good? Or do you think it's a true fluke and it's just a one-off? Or do you think they got the formula?
I really don't know. I really don't know.
Really?
I really don't know. Because Sony is such a bunch of Sonys.
They're the worst. I know. And it's funny because once in a while they do make something good.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter. They will never get my goodwill.
It's astonishing.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
They really suck.
I remember you remember like that Columbia picture, the woman with the, she's got that would come up and Spider-Man 2 and you'd be like, oh, it's the sign of quality.
Yeah. It is funny though. Like you think about it too, like the one that comes to mind that was good was Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
Lost a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So they make something good and nobody sees it.
Well, in the new not Jungle Book, the new, what's it called? Jumanji.
Oh, they made that. That was quality,
so,
I guess.
I mean, they've got hits coming, but I'm way too trepidatious to give them any credit right now.
By the way, I don't know if we're hitting it in trailer time, but we should probably talk about the Jumanji 2
trailer. Jumanji 3.
I suppose, yeah, that's true, yeah.
It's really weird, but yeah, well, that's a good enough segue for me. We can go into trailer time.
I got one more.
Oh, you got one more piece of news?
I just ran into this. Just a fun nugget of news.
Okay.
So people wonder why people give Metallica shit. Like this badass Metallica in the 80s, Alcoholica. Right. So they're combining their love of kids and passion for charity with their latest colorful endeavor, a children's book titled The ABCs of Metallica.
What is going on?
You wonder, like, Jesus Christ.
It's grandpas with guitars, man.
Some of the money's going to charity, apparently, but how can we make more money, I guess?
Yeah.
And the cover art of the
that's
it's really
terrible.
Something. Look it up, people.
That's
ABCs
terrible.
of Metallica. But yeah, that's just a note. Now we can continue.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say trailer time, but actually I forgot about the last piece of news. I'm going to leave off on something nice, which is Lion King reactions. We got some Lion King reactions.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and it sounds great.
Yep. What a surprise. It looked great. It sounds great. Apparently, it's great.
Apparently, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. Which I guess if you just took a Lion King, the old one, and you just made it look amazing,
it would be
still
amazing.
be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you took literally page for page the same script.
They could have literally taken the vocal tracks from the original Lion King and just done
a CG version.
Yeah.
And
well, apparently, like the CG is just fucking bonkers, which we've seen in the trailer.
Yep.
So
it looks
I'm
great.
excited as hell. That's number one on my list now after the news, I guess.
Yeah.
That news.
Yep. I'm pumped. I'm ridiculous. Do you think it's going to be in like your top 5 of the year?
I mean, this one's tough because do you have to grade it on a curve because it's not original? It's just going to be a remake.
It's really tough. Yeah, that's a tough, because I mean, like, how can you possibly separate that in your mind?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
I suppose part of the criteria of looking at it is going to be, was it necessary? Like,
Well, I mean, we already know the answer to that question. It's no.
No, that's true. Nothing is necessary, I guess.
But was it well made?
Yeah,
that's always going to be the question.
It's going to be. Or it was, I'm sure.
Right.
Can I just go into the future like Doc and say, I liked The Lion King? Thumbs up.
What a surprise, Jackson.
But yeah, that's excellent that's good news.
Yep. So we got...
What was the worst that could have happened, I guess, quick? They all came out and they were like...
It sucks.
The story sucks. The only thing I'm concerned with is the acting. Because a couple, like I think I said it last week, the couple of the line readings like that I saw were a little wooden, but who knows?
Yep. I mean, you don't even know if they showed you. And that's what I've noticed too. It's like, it's tough to even know from a trailer what's going to be the line reading that's in a movie.
Dude, it's so true. There's that Plinkett review of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull where they have a clip of Harrison Ford saying a line. And I think it's from a trailer. It might not be. It might be from like some behind the scenes footage or something. But it's like a well-read line. And then in the movie, it was terrible.
Yeah.
They used like the worst line.
Yeah. I've noticed it with so many movies. So, and it sucks too, because like if you're a fan of the trailer, which I like trailers.
Sure.
If you're a fan of the trailer, you kind of fall in love with the reading of the line that's in the trailer.
Oh, yeah. And then the line sometimes isn't even in the movie at all.
Yeah. Well,
and then you're really pissed.
If it's a good line, yeah.
Yeah.
In a world where trailers run rampant, 2 men stand alone. Trailer time.
Yeah. So can we just hop into Jumanji 3 then quick? Yeah. So the premise, as far as I could understand it, is they're all the same actors are in the movie.
Right.
But now the bodies for like 3 of them have switched. One of them, I believe, is still the same.
Yeah, it's still the Karen Gillan's character is still the same. She's still the girl that becomes Alex's boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah, so you have her, and then who are the other actors? You got The Rock.
Fridge is in Kevin Hart's body.
Okay.
The Rock is now Danny DeVito.
Yes. There you go. That's the...
Oh, wait, no. Fridge is in Jack Black.
Yeah, he was in The Rock last time.
No, he was in Kevin Hart last time.
Okay, so he's in Jack Black. So a woman isn't in Jack Black. Who's the blonde girl in or whatever?
Blonde girl seems to not be... We don't know her identity, and we don't know the identity of a Hereditary guy.
Okay.
But Danny DeVito and Danny Glover are in the movie.
Yes, and
Kevin
that's wonderful.
Hart doing a Danny Glover impression is, he might win me over.
This is, there's nothing wrong with this idea because now you get something a little fresh.
Yeah.
They all get to like kind of practice their acting chops. Let's see what they do.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, I guess. I guess I will see this one in theaters. I didn't see the first one in theaters. So.
Yeah. I'll see this. I can't believe it. I'm going to see this in theaters.
Right.
It's such a cash grab.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like why would you ever put the cartridge back together? You guys barely made it out alive.
Well, there's good cash grabs and there's bad cash grabs, though. Like, if they have a good idea, and they are like inspired to make something good, then I don't mind a cash grab.
I think the best idea about this is that you can take these actors and they can act like different people.
Yes.
That's the selling point. But the very inception of going there is pretty contrived.
Yeah, I wonder what happens.
And it's a little like, oh, we used to be friends and now we're not. So it's like, oh, you created the same circumstances so that you guys can go into the video game and you guys can be friends again. Like, that's kind of dumb and weak, but it looks like a lot of fun.
I'm sure it will be.
Mulan.
I saw this trailer.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
I mean, it looks kind of bland to me. That doesn't necessarily mean bad, I guess. It's just, it doesn't look very Disney, so they're trying something different. I hear there's no music in this one.
That's what's got me upset because, like,
oh, really?
Be a Man is legit, like, or is it Be a Man?
I don't know. I'm going to lay some news on you here. I have never seen it.
Oh,
I
really?
Have never seen Mulan.
I think you would actually enjoy it.
I'm sure I would.
It's actually a pretty good, like, it's definitely lower tier than like Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, whatever.
There are people that love it though.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun, it's a nice girl empowerment movie,
sure.
You know, and
before it was cool.
Yeah, it was. Yes. But the music in it, there are some really great songs in it.
Is the little dragon character not in it either?
That's what I've heard. So to me,
it's like a realistic.
It's a
Mulan.
realistic, yeah. And the real reason that they're not putting the music in is because China does not like musicals.
Oh, okay.
So now we know
they're getting that China money.
They're going to go and try and beat Endgame's, you know, foreign box office top in China or whatever.
Though, it's hard for me to give them shit because if we keep saying that they are doing everything, or they're remaking everything, nothing original, they're going to try something different. I mean,
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I guess it just sucks because the music is
good.
At least there's one really great song.
Okay.
I guess I can probably do without the rest of it, but that song in particular is fantastic.
There you go. All right. The one that you're not sure what the name of the song is.
I know exactly how it goes. I'm not going to sing it, but I know how it goes.
All right.
What else is there? Oh, that new Brad Pitt space thing.
Yeah, I feel like once or twice a year now we're getting one of these.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're getting two of them soon. We're getting a Natalie Portman one.
Yes.
And we're getting a Brad Pitt one.
Yep.
And I can't remember what the plotting was in either of those trailers whatsoever.
I mean, I know
John Hamm's in one of them.
John Hamm, I think, is in the Natalie Portman one.
Okay.
And I think it's
Tommy Lee
Jones is Brad Pitt's dad.
And he's lost in space.
Yes.
And if they don't stop him, then there's like a nuclear holocaust or the galaxy can blow up or something.
It's very unclear.
It doesn't look bad. It looks okay.
To me, it's like, what's your selling feature? It's Brad Pitt in space. Like, I mean, are we just like trying to recreate the success of Gravity? Is that all this is?
Something in space.
Yeah. It's
you
an
might
actor.
be right.
Like, I don't know. It just doesn't look interesting to me.
You know what's annoying about it is the fact that this is like in my wheelhouse as far as genre. So I will see this and it's like, okay, I'll either be like, oh, that meh, or maybe it's really good, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
But that's annoying because they just know they have people like me's money. There's an audience for this. And if you make it for a certain amount of dollars, you'll probably make out okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess, you know, it's nice. I mean, I've been saying this forever. It's nice that we get original movies, but I don't know. It's not that original.
No, it's not original. It's an original idea, but it's not original. It's a guy goes into space.
Yeah.
It's
why is he going alone?
I
don't get
it has to be him. I don't know. There's another actor in it too, old guy, and I can't remember who it is, but it looks like a pretty good cast. Brad Pitt, I think, is dating someone who's like, oh no, Liv Tyler. That's what ruins it.
Oh yeah,
that's what ruins
right.
it.
Yeah, we saw that with
no
Far
offense
From
to
Home.
Liv, but I'm just done.
She just whispers.
Yeah.
That's all she does.
She's playing. What did I say? Betty White.
Yes.
Betty
Good old
Ross.
Betty White. Yep.
Yeah, Betty Ross.
Let's see what else. Maleficent 2.
Yeah, so we just discussed this. I think we part on this. Looks kind of fun to me.
It looks terrible.
I mean, I like the idea of Michelle Pfeiffer versus Angelina Jolie, like mom battle, like mom drama.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds fun. That sounds entertaining. There's something towards the end of the trailer that I just kind of erased from my memory because I don't care. I thought the first one was okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's got some
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, it's a movie that you 2 days later you forget.
You just don't remember, right? So yeah, and it's got what, Elle Fanning or whatever is in it.
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The visuals look pretty nice.
It looks overdone.
Isn't it crazy how Disney makes like this is one of their like little poop features, and it looks like it costs like $100 million or something.
Oh, I guarantee it costs like 100.
Yeah,
at least 120.
It's just insanity.
I mean, they're just throwing money at the wall.
They have the top 5 movies this year, I think.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I mean, I'll be really interested to see if the government ever decides to step in. Because like, there's a big part of me that's like, don't break up my Marvel family, you fucks. But at the same time, I'm like, the amount of power that they now wield
have accumulated as far as, yeah, it's true.
It's insane. Well, now they're going to get into the streaming, you know, and now we find out that Netflix is maybe not doing as hot as it thought it was.
Just watch out, though, because we could have a new Vision situation on our hands. Where,
right.
You know, things get worse for us because they try to stop the big guy.
Yep. You never know. We solved one problem on a global scale, but we made it worse.
So for context, AMC used to own a theater near us. They purchased Sundance, which also had a theater near us. They had to sell one of the AMCs to this other company that isn't as solid. All of a sudden, AMC comes out with this $20 a month, 3 movies a week deal. And the only AMC we have left is like the shitty chairs AMC.
Yeah, no reclining chairs and no IMAX.
So yeah, it really worked out great for the little people.
Yep. That does suck. I mean, that's an entire like market that's gone.
And
like,
yeah, they had to sell it because of some, you know, government, like when they looked over the deal, they made them offload a few theaters because they were getting too big, apparently.
Yep.
They're not too big here.
It was something about the amount of competition versus how many theaters that were owned in that specific mileage or something.
Right. Yeah. So they're like, oh, we bought on Sundance's in Madison. I wish that Sundance would have just like burned down 10 years ago. It could be at night when no one's in it.
It's a great shopping center too.
It was when it opened. It was like, ooh, look at this nice new posh theater, like assigned seats.
Look at that. They've got the little tree twigs with the lights. Yeah, Christmas lights on.
Now it just sucks.
Yeah, it's sad. It looks nicer when you walk in than just about any other theater in town, though.
Well, it looks like the place where like the 65, 70-year-old like baby boomers would go to the movies.
It's true.
Doesn't it?
Those goddamn baby
Like they
boomers.
probably get one of those little wines with like the lid that you can take off.
I bought their pretzel bites there once. Way too salty.
Oh, really?
And it's like they butter them also. So like they're all like sticky and it was too much.
I got the sliders and they were cold in the middle, which is never.
Oh.
Yeah, that's awful. And the movie's starting. I'm not getting up, you know.
You got to go back and throw them at their face.
Yeah. But we digress.
We do digress. Knives Out.
This looks great to me.
It looks like a lot of fun.
I think it looks great. This is the Ruin Johnson one.
Yep, right? Ruin Johnson, back at it again.
So I'm sure The Last Jedi looked great too.
It did.
Yeah. So
I liked Looper.
I liked Looper, right?
Yep.
But yeah, great cast.
Yeah.
I don't remember everyone who's in it.
Chris
Daniel
Evans,
Craig's in it, right?
Daniel Craig, Chris Evans. Oh, God. Halloween. I'm blanking on her name.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. There's some other people
but
too.
Like a little murder mystery type thing?
It's
like a Clue?
I was going to say, it's the modern Clue.
Yeah, it looks good.
I mean, how is he going to subvert expectations here?
Nobody died. It's all a dream. It's one of those escape room games.
Oh my God. Oh.
Dude, it could be.
I would hate that. I mean, I guess it depends on how it's executed. Though I will say the whole like it's a dream thing is just ruined for it's like for all time. as far as the storytelling device.
Like when you see a movie going that way, you just know it's not going to go there. I almost wish one would do it at this point.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't
you
know
actually
the
would
last
be
time.
surprised.
Right. I don't know the last time I've seen that actually happen.
It's a dream. Ooh.
It's
Talk
the
about
most
laying it on your audience. Ooh.
Yeah. Yep.
That takes some serious balls if somebody does It's a Dream movie.
Well, I think we just called for it, so
Yeah, let's see it.
I guess if we complain about it,
Come on, Ruin. Hope that's the one.
I hope you're listening, Ruin. Just to hear us call you Ruin all the
Sure,
time.
he hasn't heard any of that in the last 2 years.
Oh, we don't even hate him as a guy. He just didn't do a
He
good
is
Star
kind of
Wars.
annoying. I mean,
I can just see him, get this
Is that
$1
what
billion
he said?
franchise, and what do you do with it?
I feel like
Luke's
you're
an asshole.
I feel like that's like a Bill Gates impression. I don't know why. That's what I think.
he's a Bill Gates guy.
Is he?
Yeah, I could see him up there with his,
He's like a hipster Bill Gates, though.
he's like if you took Bill Gates and you mixed him with the Apple guy, Steve Jobs. You turned him into like this nerdy fucking little asshole.
I would just say it's like Bill Gates mixed with a barista.
He was so proud. Have you watched like the behind the scenes?
No,
of
I haven't.
Last Jedi. Like he's just so proud of himself.
Nobody, nothing better than a self-congratulatory asshole.
A guy who literally says, like, I think if people aren't pissed about your movie, then it wasn't good. You did something wrong. That's basically what he said.
It's true. And that's a weird stance to
Which
take.
I don't hate the idea of that, I guess. Like, I don't care what people think. I'm going to make my vision, I guess, is what
Right.
he's saying. But it's like, wouldn't you rather have everyone walk out of the movie and be like, that was great?
Yeah. I mean, I saw a quote from some famous critic or something. Maybe it was a director, and they said something along the lines of, you've made a great film, or you can only make a great film when people walk out and they're arguing. And I think that's a little too much of a blanket statement, but I understand what he's trying to get at.
I say you make a great film like in that genre when everybody's clapping and fucking cheering and whatever. I mean, maybe in hindsight you look back and it's like, okay, well, it was a little derivative and whatever, but it's like it was an experience. It's made to be an experience for the people to enjoy at the theater. And if everybody enjoyed it, then whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I think J.J. Abrams succeeded in his goal with The Force Awakens.
He did. I mean, I have my issues with Force Awakens, but yeah, it's a much bigger crowd pleaser.
Yes.
And
it's just
structurally,
better.
structurally, it's just better too.
Yeah, it's better in every way.
Yeah, I would agree
can't
with that.
think of a way it's not better.
I would agree. But yeah, we're going to get into our main topic. But before we do that, we have another sponsor.
We do?
Yes.
Oh, really? Who do we got this time?
This book is changing my life.
The ABCs of Metallica?
No, it's even better. And it's for all ages. For thousands of years, Asian monks have used the 7 chakras to open up humanity's mind. And though only 7 had been used, there really were 119, to which only the most enlightened were able to open. But now, recent studies at the town of Bangladongju have revealed 3,700 new chakras, each with their own sound to resonate and open. I am Dr. Harold James, and in my latest book, The 3,700 and you too can open up the chakras with new sounds, such as the resplendent and the divine. There are 3,698 more beyond those two, and you too can open them up by getting my book, The 3,700 and Me.
Boy, I can't wait to read that by the fireplace.
Yep.
Under a blanket.
Yep.
Maybe up at a cottage up north somewhere.
It's really going to help me center. I know that. That's for sure. But yeah, let's get it. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's have the appetizer first. That would be Stranger Things. Let's talk about that first.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So Stranger Things came out to massive excitement around the country. Everybody knows about it. You turn Netflix on. It's the first thing that hits you in the face.
Yep.
You almost can't not watch it, right?
Right.
So my overall thoughts on this were it's pretty good, I guess. Like, first off, I want to say, let's get the good shit out of the way.
Okay.
It looks fucking amazing, I thought.
I like most of the look.
Okay.
There is a certain set design that I'm not a fan of.
Oh, I'm excited to hear that. It's crisp. The colors are bright. It's a pretty show to watch.
Yep.
Some of the character stuff, though, and that's pretty much where my good, I guess, ends, is that it has good characters and it's got a really neat design to it.
I mean, it's one of those things where you like the characters, so you're certainly willing to forgive a certain amount of, I don't know, retreading. If it, because I like Steve or whatever. I like Dustin.
I love Steve. Yeah.
Steve and Dustin. And I gotta say, Mike was kind of a dick in this season.
Mike,
and the skateboard girl.
The skateboard girl.
Those two became kind of assholes in this season. And
I
was
don't
not
know.
a big fan
I
of
liked
that.
them still. It seemed like they stretched a few things really thin.
Yes.
A few ideas were stretched extremely thin.
Right. I'm going to say my main thought on this scene or this season was that it was a complete waste. I have
that's some words there from you. I know you're a Stranger Things fan. Like, I love it.
Season 1 is one of my favorite seasons of TV ever.
It's great.
And season 2 is just a slight dip in quality, but it's still great and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think the only thing I had negative to say about season 2, and I think that over time it's going to get more apparent, is that the idea maybe won't run very long.
Yeah.
If they're not going to make the changes needed to be made.
Agreed.
And they should have began right after season 1, in my opinion.
Yep. But I agree. I mean, there are things that I love in season 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything that I love in this season.
I loved the end of season 2. Like the whole dance thing, like all that shit had me super happy.
Well, and Hopper being a dad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that stuff was great. We don't make stupid decisions, whatever. There's a lot of stuff to love in season 2. In season 3, it's the ultimate been there, done that.
It is.
The threat is a threat that we've already seen before.
Yeah, they turned it into a zombie thing, kind of.
Yeah, it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, correct.
I mean, spoilers for that small piece of plot.
But the whole show is built around like taking things you've seen and kind of like injecting it with like a self-aware humor and characters you like.
But this went to the point where they took nothing seriously.
That's where I was going to go. That really was annoying me. Like, there's scenes in this where Hopper and Winona Ryder's character, I can't remember her name, are arguing or something, and it's all played goofy. Yeah. Everything is played goofy.
Yes.
And the music is goofy.
The music is not as good as the first two seasons. Like, that was one of the... And they deliberately use way too many pop songs from the 80s just to be like, hey, it's a song. And then do like the... Oh God, there was a part where they're like driving up a hill at one point, and it's like the song from Ghostbusters, like driving up that hill or something.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, really? Like, this is what we're doing? And I mean, my main thought is that this world has no secrets anymore. I know everything about the villain. I know everything about the characters. Nobody has any backstory or mystery. And so all you can do is create character drama. But when I understand the characters, there's no surprises anymore.
Well, and like, they're not even, I'm sorry, but like Hopper, I didn't even like him in this season very much. And that's my favorite character, I think. I
think I had a very opposite reaction than most people, which was I really dug the beginning of the season.
Okay.
But as it got further in, probably about episode 3, I just realized that they weren't going to do anything interesting, and it just kept getting worse.
I don't want to spend all my time shitting on this. So I will say I like the Billy. I like Billy.
Right.
Yes. I think he's probably the highlight of this season.
Right. Do you want to do spoilers?
Sure. Yeah,
All
sure.
right. So yeah.
So my grade. Okay, let's do our grades quick.
Okay.
I will give it a B-.
I'm going to give it a C-.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see,
It's a vast disappointment, and it's a huge step down from the last 2 seasons.
All
it's
right.
Unbelievable. It's so cookie cutter. It's copy and paste from the last 2 seasons. There's nothing new.
There's a few things I liked here.
Okay.
Now we're spoilers.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This.
Yeah.
I liked the ice cream girl, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter.
Oh, she's an enjoyable character.
She was great. I liked what they did with her and Steve. I thought that their relationship was good.
I started getting a little annoyed because I was like,
Okay.
oh no, they held hands on the fucking building. And then you find out she's a lesbian.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And you're like, oh, good.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good little twist. I liked the look of the mall. I liked the action scene in the mall. I just wish it was a different monster that was fighting them because I'm done with him. I'm done with the look of that monster.
The mall, the movie theater.
Yes,
I mean,
that was great.
Everything was great there.
They had nods to Day of the Dead both in the soundtrack and in the first episode.
Right.
The characters were kind of driving me nuts, though. I'll tell you one thing I hated. I'm just going to jump right into a scene that I fucking despised. The moment it happened, I fucking hated it. It made me angry.
Okay.
So there's like a moment towards the end. It's the final episode. And like Hopper needs a code to open this fucking thing. And like, it's like the name of some, I forget. It's like a scientific algorithm.
It starts
or formula.
with a P.
Yeah. So basically he needs this number and what's his name? The toothless kid. I forget the fucking character's name. The one who's got
Dennis.
the girlfriend. Susie.
Dennis.
Is his name Dennis?
Or Dustin. Sorry,
Ooh,
Dustin.
I was like, ooh, Dennis. That doesn't sound right, but it could be. But no, Dustin needs to get it. And he's got this girlfriend, Susie, that they've telegraphed what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They start the season off. Nobody believes Susie's real, but you as the viewer aren't a complete moron. So you know that she is. At the end, he gets a hold of her. She knows the code. But instead, when the world is on the line, she gets all pissy with him and makes him sing this never-ending story song.
Yeah.
You could have done something with that and had a cute scene, but in the context right there, it
goes so long.
And it was like
it was
this
dumb.
would never, ever, ever happen.
It was so long. It was so unnecessary, and it was such a remember the 80s?
Yes.
And I hated it because the whole point,
I hated it too.
The best part of Stranger Things was that, yes, it was like they had the synth score and they had references to old movies, but it wasn't bash you over the head. Like, yeah, he had the Thing poster in the background, but that was in his basement.
And Billy has like a Kill 'Em All Metallica poster.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they were just every 10 minutes doing an 80s reference to save a scene.
It was that right there I found to be awful writing.
Yeah.
I thought it was really bad. Like
I love that song.
You put that in the right place, like the right context of a scene, and it could be a neat little number, neat little scene. It's cute, I guess.
Yeah.
If I didn't know that Susie was
right.
And Susie's a bitch. Excuse me. The fucking world is at stake, and you're going to make him fucking, like, this is great, Susie, that like, I'm so happy for Dustin that he's with this monster.
I mean, okay. In Susie's defense, just not something I thought I would be saying. Yeah. In Susie's defense, I mean, does she really think that the world is on the line?
She like knows, like he's told her, and she believes him about like saving the world, right?
I mean, she does. She does know, I think.
Yeah, she knows. She knows the whole story. She knows that like in that town twice now they've had this like and he calls up freaking the fuck out. She hasn't heard from him for days.
Right.
Which that's another thing. I don't really understand how long they were underground in that thing for. The Russian. They didn't do a good job of portraying
The
that.
Russians
felt like a few hours, but then they said something about a day.
Yeah, I think they were down there for like a full day.
Or longer?
I think. I don't know. It's the time frame is a little annoying. The whole massive structure of the season gets so annoying, though. The whole like everybody's discovering their own little bit.
It's like their own little thing, and then
we're
all
gonna come
together. Yeah,
and then I absolutely despised when Elle shows up and she throws the car at the people in the mall. Because she does it, and it's like, okay, well, the car's moving on its own. Of course it's Elle, because who else is doing this? Because there are no mysteries left.
You're right.
And then she throws the car, which I'm sitting there, and I'm like, why didn't you just throw the dudes? Why did you have to throw the car? It seemed like you were having a real hard time with it. Those dudes combined maybe weigh as much as the car. Then
you could rip the dudes in half.
Yes. Then all her friends come up right after she does it, and it's like, why?
Yeah,
it was timed out so.
Well, and even the way she lost her powers was obscene.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey, we wrote them out of the show because we can't have Elle save
we need something next season.
Yeah, we need them to come back. So when they come back, it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's going to be the thing next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so... Well, and I've been seeing fan theories, which is that Hopper is not dead. He was teleported.
He's not dead, for sure.
And the reason that her powers don't exist is so that the writers can't have Elle find him immediately.
Okay. Well, yeah, and he's not dead. I mean, they had that post-credits where he's like, oh, don't fuck with the American. What other American would it be?
Talk about post-credit scenes being unnecessary.
Yeah,
I did not like that. That did not get me excited.
Yeah.
It did not get me excited for the next season because I was like, oh, another Demogorgon again?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, you're just starting over again. Right.
I cannot do this anymore. Like... Sorry, but your characters aren't interesting enough to carry the show if you're just going to have them relive the same plot. It's not interesting. I hated it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great.
I really loved, like, the first episode was great when Dustin comes back and Elle does the little thing with the toys.
Yeah, that's very Stranger Things.
Yeah, and Dustin, they go up and they put the thing in, and it's great. And I love Hopper going to see Joyce.
Right, yes.
And he goes and he's like, I want to kill him. I'm just going to arrest him.
Yeah, and
dealing
they're
with
in
Mike.
that store. Yeah, that was
There's
pretty good.
so much good setup in the first episode, but then the thing happens with Billy.
Well,
and then I'm like, oh, I know how this is going to go.
Well, and Hopper, though, like you had a chance to really do something with him. And the whole time he was just like grumpy Hopper with the like the goofy fucking music. And
he doesn't have an arc really in this, really.
Well, he wrote. They read the letter that he wrote at the beginning of the season,
which is holy fucking shit.
Awful.
Like you're like, no way did he? This was a talk about, hey, stop with the kissy all the time. This isn't a like will that he wrote.
Well, and it's like you're forcing an arc where there was none. Like, hey, remember? By the way, his arc actually finished at the beginning of the season, but he just acted like grumpy pants asshole the whole season anyway.
His arc really truly finished in season 2 based on what we understood of him as a character.
I mean, he should be dead at this point. Like, it's better if the character's just dead.
You're not entirely wrong.
No, I mean, I love the character. But...
Right. Oh, I mean, yeah, he's great. I mean, he's one of my favorite things about the show, but now he's gone. But yeah, the setup episode is really great. And I think that there's this specific scene that is fucking awesome.
Which one would that be?
The rats.
That was great.
That was legitimately great.
That was well done, yes. There's another scene where Elle goes into the dream world or whatever, and she finally finds where the thing is, and it's like all red.
Yeah.
Like there's shit in the show that's like visually and like just the whole like the set design and the ideas are great.
I gotta say though, when she goes into like Billy's mind, I'm like, I know exactly how this scene goes.
He's the poor little boy. Who,
right. And it's like, we
kind of covered that last season.
Yes.
What his backstory was.
We got it in the one scene with his dad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
You know what this felt like? One of those, like, you know, since it's an 80s nostalgia play, like it feels like one of those shitty 80s sequels that they just like threw together. Like, we'll make it a lot like the first one.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And like, it's going to be a cheaper version of it.
Yep. Because they don't seem to understand that like world building and character intrigue are things. And I can't just be like, oh, are Mike and Elle going to get back together?
Yeah, no,
that's surface level interesting.
I agree. Well, and you know, that brings me to another thing though. That's I think is the case. Is like, I feel like overall we would agree that sequels are better than they used to be, right?
I think, yeah,
and I think it's because the first movies are designed to have them. They're designed to spawn them. Whereas like these 80s sequels were like, there was never necessary.
Yeah.
It was never something that the arc was done for everyone in the first movie.
Right.
And then you either had to introduce some like little side character or whatever.
Or something completely new. Like I think of like Terminator 1 is a movie that does not need a sequel.
No,
but what they did is they completely redesigned the Terminator to be a character.
They changed Kyle Reese is replaced by the Terminator, which is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's literally looking at your original and saying, what can we do to flip this and put it on its head?
Yeah. Nowadays, I feel like that would never happen because you would have some cliffhanger ending that led into 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, once in a while, you're right. You did Aliens, Terminator 2. You had an opportunity to do something entirely different. This does not do that.
Right.
The season 2 felt like an ending. Well, and the problem is there's not much more to do. And they kind of dropped the whole L superhero X-Men thing.
Yes.
Like I forgot all about that while I was watching.
I mean, it's a show to me that really truly feels like it was somewhat dictated by the fans because the fans were not a fan of that episode. But I'm like, you know what? People could get on board with that if you do something interesting with those characters and that idea, but you never did. So now you just abandon it. And now it's this redheaded stepchild of your universe.
But it's going to make people happy this fucking season overall.
I think it will. It will because it's bittersweet. People kind of like bittersweet endings. I got to say, it makes me sad, but I really liked the beginning of Will's arc.
Okay.
With his whole like, we should play Dungeons and Dragons, and then he flips out.
It's kind of being a bitch,
but he flips out on his friends because, like, I mean, to me, I look at him and I'm like, he's had the shittiest life out of all of his friends.
Oh, by far.
Like, parents divorce, he's poor as fuck, goes missing, gets possessed by a demon. And now that he's finally back and it's been like 6 months, nobody wants to spend any time with him.
They all have girlfriends. And
it's kind of like, I get it. When he has that breakdown scene in the woods, that's great.
That was like the setup episodes, and that was pretty good, that episode, because you also had the scene with Mike and him where Mike's kind of like, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good.
And I liked the fact that he asked him, he's like, what did you think we were going to just play games in my basement forever? And he's like, yeah, I kind of did. And it's like, at that age, that is exactly what you think.
Yeah. And then vagina comes and ruins your whole life.
I mean, there's a reason.
Welcome to the world.
But I gotta say, I liked his arc, but the thing that really drove me nuts was the fact that they kept on doing the thing where like he gets goosebumps on his back.
Oh, I was so sick of that.
By the second or third time, you're like, you don't touch. And every time he says the same thing. He's here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
that they did that. Like it felt like 8 times.
Yeah.
It felt like they did it. Like there might've been an episode where they did it twice.
I think so.
And it was bad every time.
Yeah. The first time, it was really good.
That's fine. Whatever. Yeah. They're in the movies. Yeah. I
actually even liked it the second time when they were climbing up the hill.
Okay.
But
because the rats are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, those rats were really
that was pretty sweet.
Great. It was the best thing of the season. I mean, as far as like visuals and ideas goes.
Yeah. I mean,
but then it's like he's building a rat Megazord made out of carcasses.
Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about that for a minute before we move on.
Right.
I am not entirely clear on what was happening there.
Right.
So like the people turned into a goo, but they could turn back into the people. Is that correct?
I don't think anybody who turned into goo turned back into a person. I think everybody who turned into goo is literally
They're
gone.
all fucking dead?
I think so.
And what... I don't know. And what was special about Billy? It's like
that was the thing too. Is like, why is Billy the
leader.
last one?
Right.
Because he was first. Because he has a.
Because he's actually great. I like the actor. The performance is good. I guess that's why. Because he's actually something that's like kind of fun to watch. But
if we're honest, the real reason is that he has a personal connection to some of the characters.
Sure. Yeah.
So that there's some character drama. But logistically, there's no reason why he should exist.
I would say his little bit, like the little scary parts with him, like the whole home invasion type scene with the girl, the other lifeguard, that stuff. I thought that stuff was pretty entertaining.
It was
like,
okay.
I just wish the threat wasn't the same fucking thing that we've seen for 2 seasons already. I wish there was they came up with something new.
Right.
You know, you could do an Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like, you know, ode to the fucking Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
You could absolutely do that. But who is the villain? What's their motivation?
Correct.
Where did they come from? The fact that I have all of those answers already.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Because, there should be some backstory to the threat. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And there's none left. It's just here it comes again. Same fucking thing. And it's going to happen again.
It's so frustrating.
But the Russians.
Well, and then they don't do anything interesting with like the very idea of like the upside down.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the upside down.
Because okay, so they said that the Mind Flayer goes from like world to world, or at least they implied that it goes from world to world and it takes over the living creatures that are there. So it's like one big host thing.
Okay.
Does that mean the Demogorgons and the Demodogs, those are actually not the Mind Flayer? They are their own things?
I think they're like the demons that it
possessed.
I don't know if it possessed it or they could be aliens.
Because that would make it more interesting. Because then what's a Demogorgon without
I
the
need
Mind
a lore
Flayer?
Refresh. I feel like I feel like I need
right.
A
I mean,
lore.
I probably should have watched season 2 again. I know season 1 by fucking heart. That's the thing is like I watched season 1 probably less than a week after I binged watched it the first time because it's so fucking good.
It is awesome, like watching it. Well, the other problem this show has too is that was still like 80s nostalgia's the thing, and now I'm not feeling that as much as I used to. Right. Like just the opening fucking like it just the first time you saw that, it's like, oh, this is gonna be fucking awesome.
The reason that I feel like it worked so well is because they used it sparingly. And I feel like now it's just kind of like it's a child yelling for your attention.
Yeah.
I think that you would feel the 80s nostalgia if they weren't like a whore on the street pimping themselves out with it. Hey, let me flash you my Back to the Future underwear.
Yeah,
There's
you're
more.
probably right. I think I'm just tired of
5
it too.
for a Doc reference.
Jesus Christ. But we'll see if It Chapter 2 is better than this. It will be.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But let's go into the real king of Netflix.
It is fucking ridiculous. It is called Dark. And if you haven't watched it, even though we're not into spoilers yet, I'm just going to go ahead and say you should just stop listening.
Yeah, stop listening.
Because I could slip up.
Yeah.
Like last week with
I would say we kind of gave we gave an amazing, I'm going to pat us on the back again, 2 weeks in a row, patting us on the back. We gave an amazing spoiler-free review a couple weeks ago.
So go listen to that if you haven't listened to it before you watch Dark. That would be safe to listen to, I think.
Oh, 100%. No spoilers even for episode 2.
Yes, correct. So a brief synopsis of what the show is about in the first episode.
Yeah.
But shall we talk about Dark?
Let's do this.
So Dark is one of the most mindfuck shows because, okay, I'm going to do the opposite since there's so little problems with Dark. I'm going to start with problems. And this is just, I'm reaching for a problem.
Oh my God.
A possible problem on the horizon. That's what I'll call it.
Okay.
The fact that basically this is a time travel show, and thus far, it is clear to me, at least up until the final moment, maybe, that nothing that any of the characters do is making any difference in the outcomes of any of the situations that are occurring. Is that a fair synopsis of what's...
You And okay, you're not wrong that if they don't handle that well, it could be a show that at the end of the day, it's a masterpiece, but also it's got the most depressing fucking message ever, which is there is no free will. You have no choice.
Well,
Life is destiny.
Not even that, but the show kind of in essence would become kind of pointless, I think, to an extent, or unless there's something I'm not thinking of. Because far, I can tell you right now, it doesn't feel pointless just because of how fucking good it is.
Right. Well, and I would say that the show it's the old adage that it's not the destination, it's the journey. So in that regard, the show will never be pointless because as a journey, it's fucking amazing.
It is ridiculous. So you don't think that this show could be ruined in a finale? Like, you don't think that that's...
I don't think that anything that happens can undo the greatness of season 1 and season 2. Those on their own are fantastic. Now, if the ending is botched, I will say that they fucked up season 3, but season 1 and season 2, where they are now, are perfect.
You know, I'm not concerned with it being botched. Botched to me means they fucked it up. I feel like whatever it is, that's it. They know.
Right.
It's not like it's Lost or something where they're going to get 3 episodes out or a season out.
I'm going to say if they do the thing that you are saying, which is nothing matters, that would be a botched ending in my opinion.
Yeah, right now where I'm at, this is, I think I said it to you that if they have one more season as good as the first 2, it's like in that upper tier. I mean, maybe it already is.
To me, it's already one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah, it's that good.
I mean, I can't. It is unequivocally. I struggled with that word a couple weeks ago. It is what? It's probably the greatest time travel thing ever.
Yes. I can't believe I'm saying that because Back to the Future exists, the Terminator exists.
Yeah.
But just as pure, especially as pure time travel, like, I'm interested in time travel.
Yeah.
Like, I like the concepts.
Yep.
I like the things that the paradoxes, the shit that happens. 100%.
Yeah.
It is the most well thought out.
Yes.
It is fucking crazy. The situations are ridiculous that happen.
Yes.
To the point where you're just like, what the fuck? There's a character in this who you find out her daughter is her mother. Yeah. And it makes perfect sense. There's nothing illogical about it.
It's so great. I mean, there's a guy who he finds out that, I mean, basically he finds out that his dad was his friend's brother.
With this. Good luck.
His dad was his friend's brother, who is also 10 years old, but then went back in time to become his father. Right. Who then finds out that he also becomes a time traveling warrior to stop the apocalypse, but then also finds out that he's also the reason that the apocalypse is happening. So it's literally a man fighting himself throughout time. Yeah. That is fucking insane and awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah. Well, and there's just little bits where like a character will go back into the past and see their mom when they were 10. And like they know it's their mom and it just tweaks them the fuck out. That situation, it's like, so the main Jonas, he's kind of the main character. His dad is also his neighbor's or his crush's brother.
Yes.
Whose dad is having an affair with his mom. So his grandfather is having an affair with his mom.
Yes. So by technicality, there's incest going on in this show.
Sure.
I mean, there's one that's really
I'm
sort of
letting it slide.
I mean, well, that's the
I'm
thing.
Letting all the incest slide on this show.
I mean, in all honesty, I feel like that might be the point, is that when time does this, it all folds in on itself.
Yeah.
And we all intersect in ways that we never thought we would.
You know, it's funny though, like having these conversations like this about the show, because it sounds real convoluted and fucking it's hard to explain.
Yes.
But when you're watching the show, if you're paying attention,
yes,
it's not that bad. Like there's been moments where I have to go like, okay, so that is that blah. But usually whatever my is that this person or whatever comment is, I'm right.
Yeah.
I just need to trust that the wackiness that's happening is real.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments where you just have to pause and just think for a second, because the show is doing its part to show you stuff.
Right.
It's just the fact that some of it is so mind fuckery that you have to just stop and think for a second.
It's the most mind fucked thing ever that I've seen that is comprehensible.
Yeah.
Like there's other mind fucked shit where you have to watch it 85 fucking times.
Right.
You know, like something like Pi, like that movie. Or,
right.
You know, like there's shit like that exists. It's almost like, it's like if you put 12 monkeys on steroids or something. One thing that we haven't really, I mean, we're focusing a lot on like the wackiness of the time travel or whatever, but really what really sets it apart is the fact that it does all this while still giving you characters you care about.
Yes.
And moments that are like truly emotionally like the scene with the mom who discovers that the daughter is also her mom or whatever.
Yes.
Like when they see each other through that like portal.
Oh man.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Because at that point, both of them know.
Right.
And so it's insanity. And then the other insane thing, I mean, there are so many scenes that are just to get you. And I think the one that stands out maybe the most to me, because it's probably the most unique of the moments. It's the brightest, it's the happiest moment in the show.
Okay.
Is when so there's the boy who goes back in time.
Sure.
Mikkel. And he becomes Jonas's father. Well, his father goes back in time to try and find him. He actually goes back a little too far.
Oh, yes. Oh, God.
And he goes back 30 years before his son actually shows up in the 80s. And
oh, that's the other thing. The way it's set up, sorry, Alex, is you've got 33 years between three different time periods. So it focuses on three different time periods. And apparently the thing is every 33 years, everything's aligned the way it was.
Yes.
So somehow something happened and there is a way to get in. It's like 1953, 1986, and 2019 or something.
Right.
So that's how it works. But continue.
Yeah. So, and it's the idea, like you said, that happens. And so he went back 33 years before his son shows up, and he had to wait in a mental institute because people thought he was nuts. Well, he finally gets out.
He also beat a child's skull in with a rock.
Oh, yeah. Because he thought that he could Marty McFly the future.
Yeah, he did the Hitler. Would you kill Hitler as a baby thing?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, we have to go into that eventually. But the scene that is the most emotional is when he finally sees his son. He hasn't seen his son for 33 years. And this kid has been living with this new woman who's adopted him for like 6 months. So he hasn't seen his dad for 6 months.
It was so good, dude. It was so good.
I mean, because it just gets you. You're just like, I never thought that this moment would happen, which is why it works.
And both characters, you're getting it from, you feel it from both angles.
Yes. And there's a real sense of desperation in this show because like Jonas and the people who know that they're trying to change the future and the flow of time are trying to, in spite of knowing that up to this point, everything that they've already done because they've seen their past selves has not resulted in the future that they want.
Just in an endless fucking cycle. Yeah. One thing on that scene too, with the guy who goes and finds his son. Yeah. There's a nugget in there that they placed early on in the series, like one of those character fucking emotional gut, those little callbacks of the Houdini thing. Yeah. And it's just like perfect.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It's clearly I would say, and I think this might be the best metaphor that I can make, is that it's like it's a show that was written by a clockmaker that has a soul. Because it's so intricate and everything is timed right. it's just moving along. It's perfect.
It is. I can't. I told you. There's one inserted sound effect of a door squeak. That's it.
Right.
That's literally.
And it's really funny because Jackson and I were going through the rewatch at the same time, and I was like, all right, coming up on that episode. I didn't notice it.
Oh, it's bad. It's a bad one. She's going to like take a camera out of like one of those little boxes by the light post because she's trying to like catch her husband like doing something shady.
Yep.
And it's just, ooh, it nails on a chalkboard for me.
But I did miss it.
F.
Show's over.
It was funny too because the fiance looked at me because I said it again. I'm like, God damn it, why do people do that? And she looked over and she's like, I remember you saying that exact same thing
last time.
You're just an obsessive idiot who can't help himself. But yeah,
but
no, it's an A+.
It's
an A+.
I mean, I don't even know where it is. That's the sort of the thing. It's almost like a knot too. Like, I mean, they call it
is
a knot.
A knot, yeah.
But like, you don't even know where to start.
You can't start talking about it. What's the beginning of the show? What's the middle of the show?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have your Christmas lights and you just shove them in the Christmas box and then you pull it out. It's like, where do I begin? I can't untangle this.
It's so true. And it's funny because if you just laid out like a plot synopsis for every episode, just one long thing, you could literally shift. Like, you couldn't put them in any order, I don't think. But you could put like the first episode last, maybe. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell people about the show and just start at a random point. Like, it's about this guy who goes back to find his son.
I don't think that works. Just because reveals are timed out perfectly.
That's true. Because the reveal would be fucked of other shit.
Because you'd be like, oh, that's a thing that apparently means something.
Yep, you're right.
But
reveals are fucked. You're right.
But the reveals in this are just amazing. I mean, it's just
the reveals are stupid.
I mean, okay, so there's a guy, Noah, who
great character,
comes back from like the 1800s, right? And he's part of a time-traveling cult.
He's like late 1800s because you do end up, and eventually you end up in like the 20s, and like he is a young man.
Yeah,
so
that's
he was
right.
born in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, or something.
Yeah, and you find out that he raises himself.
Yes, essentially, that's certainly how it seems. Yes,
in the cult. In the time cult. That's so fucking cool.
Cult. The time cult, which exists primarily in the 20s.
Yes.
Even though everything that's happening is after its existence.
I think the idea is that they are building this underground bunker or whatever so that they have a place to be safe.
The time cult.
It's a time cult.
Yeah,
it's
great.
So cool.
Yeah, and the great thing is I still can't tell you with certainty who the bad guy is, who the good guy is. Everybody's got some shady qualities to him.
I mean, Noah did kill children.
Yeah, but the goal though, like the goal.
It's really funny though, because there's a part of it where you're like, wait, so he has to do this so that the time travel machine can exist as it does in the future, because they have one that allows them to skip to any point in time.
Right. So if they don't do it,
then they never get that level of time travel. But it's like he already lived in a time that it was possessed.
Oh yeah, the paradoxes, the bootstrap paradoxes and shit, where they talk about, like, oh, well, I wrote this book, but I never knew I wrote it until somebody brought me the book. So really, I never wrote it. Or like, I built this machine, but I never really built this machine because somebody brought me the machine that I built. So there is no origin for this machine, really.
Yes, it's fucking amazing.
And it all makes sense.
It does. It's so fucking, like, I wish people could see my face. I
wish people would just watch the fucking show.
Yes. I mean, this show just puts... It's not just that it's so intricate, but it's just, I love the idea of that. It's literally people fighting against destiny.
Yes. It's what everybody does in their entire life.
Yeah. It's
going to get you eventually.
It deals deals with what it means to be human and free will better than anything that I think I've probably seen deal with that theme.
Yeah, it's great. Well, and on top of all that, it looks great.
Yes.
The music is fucking great.
Yep.
All of the acting is good.
Yep.
The cinematography is top-notch fucking cinematography. The writing's great. Everything's great.
Yep.
The fact that this isn't the biggest show out is annoying. I get it. It's German. It's tough. It's got a tough, and it's just got a tough entry curve, right? It's just hard to get into for someone who's not into this sort of thing.
I suppose.
Once they are into it, I'm sure they get hooked on it.
Right.
But it's not an easy, like, oh, just throw it on. And like, I mean, 5 minutes into it, you might be one of those people who's just like, no, this isn't for me, because you don't even know what the show is about yet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. And there's a part of it where we're living in a society now where people like to play on their phones while they watch TV.
When we, George, we're living in a society.
Yep. Yep. It's a good
You'll have
bit.
to turn that down.
I was just looking at the spikes right there. But yeah, we do. We live in a society where people play on their phones while they watch TV. Like the idea of
not an option.
The idea of focusing on something is, I think, a little foreign to people at this point. You have to put down your phone.
I cannot say that I had my phone down through all of Stranger Things.
Oh, I definitely didn't.
I didn't. I feel like you have to watch it.
Yep.
You don't have a choice.
Yep.
Especially if you're using subtitles.
It's one of those.
Which you better watch with subtitles. I got one buddy who doesn't.
Yep.
Good for him. I'm glad he watches the show. He loves the show, but I just can't imagine it.
It's just a little too silly for me. But yeah, I mean, it's great. I think you should just do yourself a favor and watch it. But
even though you just had the whole show spoiled for you, I guess not the whole show. You'd still like the show.
I think you would still like it, because I think the level of fucked that you would experience is still there's a ton of fucking
level of fucked.
Yes,
you're gonna forget a lot of the shit we even talked about, all the convoluted time travel nonsense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not that entertaining. I can't remember everything I say.
I mean, unless somebody's out there with a notebook, like, all right.
Looking forward to this.
All right. Yeah.
I want to meet you if you're that fan.
Please. Yes.
Come to my house.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say about it except for it's fucking great. I plan on rewatching it all probably pretty fucking soon, if I'm honest.
Oh, really? Wow.
I mean, I feel like I need to, because the second season, here's another great thing about it is, a lot of it is dependent on the reveals and that first time you watch it, how crazy it is, whatever. But watching the first season again, it was almost better, because it's just so, you know what you're getting into. You know how to play the game that they want you to play.
You're not playing catch up.
And I'm sure the second season's going to be the same. You can watch out for shit.
Right.
Like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. It's like it's almost like you're on your heels the whole time.
You are on your heels, yeah.
And
it's exciting.
And that way you're almost not able to pay attention to foreshadowing, if there is some, which I'm sure there is, because it's a fucking masterpiece.
It's crazy though, because you're on your heels and it's not action. It's like you're just on your heels with the tension.
That was something that I thought, I don't know, about episode 3 of season 2, where I was like, this is amazing that I feel this enthralled, and there's no explosions.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's
Rob, our buddy Rob, stay away from this show.
He started watching it, actually.
No, he did not.
He says, wow, this is a pretty dark show.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait till season 3, the final season.
Yep, it's gonna be fucking great. God. But yeah, do you have any, I guess we could move on to shit we watched. Whoa. Shit we watched. Do you have any shit we watched?
No, I started watching Hotel Mumbai again.
Oh.
But I didn't finish it, and that movie's just fucking fantastic.
Right.
It's so good. That's it. I've been lame with my Netflix watching.
Right. No, me too. Let's see. I've been continuing on Neon Genesis, and it's picking up again. There were things that were annoying me the last time, and now I'm like, oh, this show is fucked. I'm starting to get really pumped about it.
Okay,
It had,
sweet.
like,
I gotta watch this one.
We'll do it for like the forcing Jackson to watch anime bit.
Yeah, I'm thinking next week we should do some buddy cop discussion. Because we've
because
got
of Stuber. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Best buddy
I
cops.
love buddy cop movies.
I do.
They're
I
just
do.
great.
They're great. Yeah.
They never get old. Although we're going to see Stuber and watch it be a pile of shit.
I hope it's not. I like those guys too much.
So do I. Yeah, that's true. Like, at least you'll like them, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything this movie could do that would make me not like them.
Not like them, I agree.
But
yeah.
Yeah, that's the end. We made it, Jackson. I almost called you Marty.
I'm trying to, if you would have given me some time, I could have worked Noah in as the other character talking to. Like, how would Doc Brown handle Adam?
I think Doc Brown would maybe kill himself. You did what? You had a conversation with yourself. Don't you understand the space-time continuum?
That's true. Yeah, no, he would be very against everything going on in this show.
21 gigawatts.
Yeah, he would be rolling around in his grave.
God,
And by the way, rest in peace, Rip Torn.
He did.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Hopefully he's hosting an intergalactic kegger somewhere,
Oh, because Men in Black?
Because Men in Black.
Ah.
We're not hosting an intergalactic kegger down here.
That's a really good Rip Torn. I was like, I can picture that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the end of the episode. If you guys want, you guys can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, our website, boredandanoid.com. Thanks for listening.
You left nothing for me to do.
That is my goal.
Goodbye.